Hello, everyone. You're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We're a radio, TV, and podcast station. We're the #1 internet singles talk network. And this is the Boy and Girl Show. And I am Cece Schatz, the doyenne of relationships. And I have my good friends here with me.
Hello, I'm Kathy Lamb.
And I am Derek Bernard. Pleasant good evening to all of you out there. I hope you all are enjoying the show these days, and I hope you contribute this evening, and talk to us.
Yeah.
So we're happy to have you.
Where's our fan club? Come on, guys. Absolutely. Okay, here we got a comment already, Mark. Hey.
Hey, Mark. Woo-hoo.
Hi. Wow, a shaven Mark. Where is the beard? Wow.
Oh, my God. Oh, this is a different Mark.
And someone else he's got a new picture. And this one's such an important topic. So that's great. Thank you very much for saying that.
Yeah.
Hey, Johnny. Hey.
Johnny.
So you guys, our website is goingsolomedia.com, and I'm going to take it off because it goes over our face. Kathy's a little shorter than I am. So. So anyhow, there you go. You look pretty. You always look so nice, Kathy. So nice.
Thank you, Cece. That's sweet of you to say that.
Okay, I'll give you a quarter later. You give me the quarter. Okay, so here's our topic tonight. Do you fear losing your freedom in relationships? And here we go. Often when we fear the loss of freedom in relationship building, we begin to stop moving forward in truly making a commitment to our partner. So let's talk about this and much more. So here we go. Let's kick it off. Noticing. You can't wear a wig like Kathy.
And Derek, you're on.
Oh my gosh, you guys are so funny. They have their own little thing going on here on the thing. That's funny. All right, so let's talk about this. So what do you say, Derek, about this? The article we were reading about it really had the man's perspective, and they talked a great deal about men fearing that they're going to lose their freedom in relationships. But I got a feeling women are starting to feel that way too. So what do you guys think?
Well, I mean, I don't know. That's a kind of tough one because my perspective on a relationship is although in a relationship, you still have to enjoy individuality. So I don't really consider being in a relationship losing your freedom. I mean, I don't think anybody should lose their freedom in a relationship. And I, for one, wouldn't permit that to happen to me. If I feel a relationship is claustrophobic, I'm gone. So I think that people have to respect each other, #1, in a relationship, and should be able to still have the individuality and go about life as normal. Just that knowing that you have someone there that you love and that loves you, and you have a certain partnership and approach to certain things and so on. But I don't look at it as losing your freedom. That's kind of way out there for me.
What about you, Kathy?
It's funny because a lot of guys, it seems that when a girl starts getting they're dating and they start getting close, and normally the girl says, "Hey, where are we going with this?" And the guy's like, "Back up! I don't want to lose my freedom," and that type of thing. But on the other hand, women are like that too. As we're older anyway, I don't know how the younger women are, but now that.
I mean, I think that is so stereotypical. I think the world has changed a lot. And moved on from that type of thing. I mean, there are still some people who, I guess, believe that if they're in a relationship with someone, that they own that person to a certain extent. And I think that's an unhealthy relationship to have.
Yeah.
But
if they're not on the same page and, you know, not going forward in the same direction to the final point of, okay, we are together. And whether you're married or just living together, they're one. And
Right.
if they don't want that, if one of them doesn't want that and they're scared of that, then they have no business being there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're not ready, I think it's a question of commitment. And if you don't want that level of commitment where you're committed to each other, I mean, I don't know if the freedom they're speaking about here is freedom to be with other people, or freedom to, you know, look at all in a relationship, you want to look at other partners and then say, well, look, then that's another relationship you settle into. Is either you decide to have a committed relationship or you decide to have an open relationship.
I didn't see it like that. I didn't see that at all about that when I was looking at the article.
Okay, so how did they define freedom in the article? Because I already didn't have a chance to read it right through.
Okay, it was okay. So we're freestyling all of this. Okay, so when I didn't think about other relationships and wanting to see other people in that art and what, you know, this is talking about. I saw it more like, you know, cramping the style, you know, like, okay, somebody puts the dishes in one cupboard, the other one wants it on the right side, one wants it on the left side, and, you know, they want things different from each other, and so, you know, one person the other one doesn't, and they don't like pets, and, you know, that sort of thing. And then one might say, oh, well, if you want me to be here, you have to get rid of the pet. And I'm like, no, you know, all these little things. No?
Well, I mean, I think those are minor issues. I mean, look, I'll tell you straight, I would never be with someone who doesn't like cats or dogs, right? If you don't like cats or dogs, then, hey, we just can't make it. But if you like snakes, we can't make it either because I don't like snakes, right? So
I have a turtle. I have a turtle.
A turtle is fine, but you know, but little things like that, you're supposed to decide those things before you decide to move in with each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, here's some of the. We'll put up some of the comments here. Johnny says you want to be happy with the other person, gives you the freedom. Music because she wants to please each other. So she wants to. And Derek, that is the thing. We are afraid to lose what we may have, and that's what's going on right now. You know, he hit something here. We'll go back and talk about that. Compromise and negotiation equals happiness, and absolutely right, Johnny. You hit it on there for that.
Oh yeah.
A couple of points I wanted to make is that it seems like sometimes when we get into relationships, right, we start making compromises. We start negotiating, you know, okay, you watch your game and I'll watch this, or let's watch this together, or whatever. And you start coming to like a meeting of the mind, so to speak, with regards to that kind of thing. Well, what tends to happen in long-term relationships as you progress, you tend to get involved with each other. And then you start to lose yourself. You start losing some of the interests that you may have had, different things like that. And so I think as we're getting older now and we're in the last quarter of our lives, we're building new relationships, we don't want to go there again. We don't want to lose that stuff. So if we have an interest in playing golf, you know, he wants to go out and play golf, you know, on the weekends. Or if she wants to watch a Hallmark movie, she wants, you know, watch a Hallmark movie every now and then with her. It's those kind of things. You don't want to give up, you know, things that you actually enjoy because you've gone through a lot of maybe relationship loss to come to the point where you're at to start having to make so many different compromises. But let's touch on this, what he said about we are afraid to lose what we may have, and that's what's going on. What's going on right now, and Kathleen, let's see if you think the same thing, is now that we're in the last quarter, many of us are in the last quarter of our lives, and we've built our financial security or whatever it is. We might have gone through a relationship loss, whether it be divorce or whatever, but we've lost a piece of our, you know, income or whatever it is. And so now we have this portion left. And they're afraid of getting into another relationship because they're afraid to lose that. They're afraid to, like, gosh, I don't want to, end up marrying you and then you leave me and then I have half of what I had to start out with in my retirement. And now I'm going to have to give you half. I only have a quarter. So, yeah. So that's
that's a good fear.
Yeah. Senior citizen dating.
So you're looking at it from a financial perspective, Kathy?
Pardon me?
Cece, you're looking at it from a financial perspective?
I have heard of that before, where people are very afraid to really be committed. Like they're interested in going dating, they're interested in having a good time, building relationships, but they're afraid of that going all the way in with someone because they are afraid financially that they're going to have.
All right. So I think financial to me is something else. That's another consideration.
Exactly.
But okay, well, Johnny agrees with that. But in terms of freedom, how do we really define freedom? And how can freedom be affected by being in a committed relationship? And to me, that's the real question. What freedom are we really speaking about here?
Well, there's a lot of different types of freedoms. I mean, like Cece said, there's the financial part, there's the living space part, there's the habits. Let's say I want to binge all day on Sunday, all day, and I don't want anybody to say anything to me about it. I want to binge and watch TV. Not that I do this, but I do. Well, okay, sometimes I do. But I don't want to have to answer to somebody. I don't want somebody complaining, that's what I'm doing because that's my life. That's part of my life.
But then why should somebody complain if you want to binge? I mean, if you want to binge, you want to binge. And you're supposed to have the freedom within your relationship to binge if you want to. In fact,
here's the thing, you're supposed to have it, but the thing we're talking about tonight is the fear of losing that. And sometimes fear is not realistic, right? So sometimes we have a fear of something that maybe isn't really in existence. We just have this fear that we're going to lose that because of past relationships. So I think that's what we have to think about is if we're, you're so well-rounded, Derek, so you don't have a lot of these issues, but there are those out there that do have them. And so, how do they cross over and really be able to step forward through some of these fears? And so that's kind of like what we're talking about tonight.
Well, I think one, I always maintain that one has to know oneself and understand what you can live with and what you cannot live with, what would make you happy and what would make you unhappy. And if you are moving into a relationship situation and these little small stuff things keep cropping up, as far as I'm concerned, if I'm someone and they want to binge, you binge. I'll bring a cover for you and a pillow, I'll cook. You binge. I don't care. That's what you want to do.
I watch TV.
And if I wanted to read a book, I say, look, you know what, you binge in there, whatever. I want to go out with the guys and hang out or whatever, then I should be free to do that as well.
Exactly.
It's not. Relationships shouldn't be about restrictions.
Right.
Relationships should be about expansions.
Exactly.
So if you want to binge, hey, probably at some point in time, if you're looking at what I would want to look at, I'll probably binge with you. If you're looking at just a lot of Hallmark movies, I may not be into that, so I might find something else. But you should be free to do that. We are individuals, we're human beings, and we existed for some time before we decided to get together. And we shouldn't have to give up the things that we love in order to be in a relationship.
Because as we're dating, right, we're slowly building into a relationship. And so
sorry, go ahead, Stacey.
Yeah, so we're slowly building into a relationship. So we need to be taking it slowly. We need to be putting up our boundaries and saying, if something isn't right for us, then we step back and say, hey, if I'm compromising on this, I would expect you to compromise on something else. And it's funny because it's not always the big issues that you don't come together on. Sometimes it's the small issues, like Kathy was saying, some little habits that you may have that you didn't realize that were annoying, but they are annoying type of habits. There are certain things like that. So it's really coming together as a couple. And so I wonder sometimes, do we hold back from like a total commitment to someone because we're worried about, freedoms that we might very well be giving up? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that some people are afraid of commitment. Some people are afraid to get into a relationship because they think it's going to negatively affect their lives. As you say, giving up whatever freedoms or perceptions of freedom that they have. The thing is that if you go into a relationship in a way, I mean, if you know that you don't want commitment and that kind of, you should let that person know up front, look, that's not what I'm into. But if you go into a relationship halfway, one person is committed and then the other person is just halfway committed, then that's a relationship where you are setting up a lot of conflict areas. But if you immerse yourself in the relationship and you say, look, this is where I am at and I want this relationship, then I think it's easy. You find that you're sharing a lot of stuff and you're having some new experiences because you may not have experienced being a scuba diver before, but the person that you're into a relationship with might be scuba diving. And one of these days, you might say, let me try a scuba dive because,
if you go into it in a positive way and take every experience in a positive way of the other person, and I think that there shouldn't really be too much of a problem. I don't know who knows as far as freedom goes, and I kind of, in the way I'm thinking, maybe freedom is not really the right word.
I think it's fear.
Yeah.
I think it's being afraid of having to give up these so-called freedoms, but I don't think that people really.
I don't know if I'm really afraid of giving up the freedom. I think it's more afraid of actually giving a commitment, and not a commitment where like you might date each other with no one else. It's really joining of a partnership that I think people sometimes are a little bit afraid of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's fear of a perception than actually a real thing.
But if you sit down and you discuss, what it is that you may be afraid of, in my case, I would say I'd be afraid of annoyances, and I don't want things to annoy me, because if things annoy me, I'm going to become a bitch and I'm going to make you miserable. So, and I don't want that life for either one of us, So, and that's my fear, actually. I don't. If I see something in somebody that's really going to annoy me, well, maybe it's best to just go ahead and talk about it and see, what we can do about that part.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think talking and communications is the key. But then again, if I'm seeing someone and something annoys me so much about that person that I think it's going to be a problem, then we don't have a relationship, because I am not trying to change anybody. I am just not trying to do that.
Yeah.
I either accept you or I don't.
I was, there was just one guy that I dated and he wanted to get married and I bolted. I mean, it wasn't him. It was totally me. And I just was not ready for that type of commitment. I was happy to date him. I was happy to go out. I was happy to have fun. I was happy to do all that stuff. But when he wanted to get married and move in and be, it was just too overwhelming for me. I just totally broke it off with him. I said, forget it, and he was a great guy. Absolutely. But I was just not ready. It was right after my divorce. I wasn't ready. Let's go to some of these comments because I love these guys and they are right here with us. We want to make sure that I don't miss any here. I'm going to go way up because we're, okay, we did that one. So we've had bad experience and now we're gun shy. That's what Johnny said. Johnny also said we're gun shy more than we want freedom. Mark says, if you're committed to each other, then you are committed. Yeah. And I was always, I date someone, if I'm exclusive, I'm, I don't see anybody, I don't do anything like that. Never put a past on the current. Ooh, I like that. That's a good phrase. Never put the past on the current. Derek is on the money. Wait, don't be talking about Derek being right. Wait a minute. I should have read that before I put it up. And then see, sometimes we put too many boundaries, and especially at our age. And you're probably right. I think, but we do have to be clear on what makes us happy, right? Don't you think?
Well, we have life.
We have to be clear, and
we have life experiences that have made us put those boundaries out there. We know what we can tolerate and what we can't. Mm-hmm. And yeah, at least that's the way I feel about it.
Well, I would also say a caution here: don't let your life experience, or your age. Well, I don't want to say age, but your life experiences be a boundary to your happiness and to your enjoyment of life.
Yeah, very well.
Just sometimes you just have to leave those things behind, get rid of the baggage, and experience the joy of just being and existing, out of a relationship.
Okay, Donnie says you're afraid of commitment because that commitment means that they're going to lose more than they've lost before. Yeah, and I think that is one of them. And this one's very funny, guys. Here we go. I'll pick up my socks if you don't hang your door on the shower curtain. Okay, we know that.
Oh my God.
We're going to put that post out on Facebook, so whoever he comes out with. And this one, Kathy, is for you. It says, Kathy, when do you find the person that you love and that will listen to you and you will listen to them? Things get a lot better. So don't fear, work together, and be happy that you're being together with problems.
With problems.
And now goes on. Here's another one for you, Kathy. Kathy, I'm sorry, I don't agree fully with you. I just think that you're looking for more things to fear than to be happy, but I love you anyway. Oh,
no.
What's my love? I haven't got no love.
Johnny, that was not really.
It is a little scary, when you're out there dating, and I think at any age, but especially when we're a little bit older here, it does get a little, yeah.
I'm not really fearful as I sound, Johnny.
But Kathy, now that you're and Cece, now that you're a little more experienced, you should be able to handle dating like a pro. There shouldn't be any fear out there.
Yeah, I don't have that now. I think if I found the right person that I really, and I want to go slowly. But I think when I think, yeah, I found the right one, I think I would be able to pull the trigger without any problem. But I would tell you, I was totally freaked out when he told me he bought a ring and all of, he didn't even do the on the knee thing. I bolted before. Literally, I did not go out with it again as soon as and I know I handled it so terribly wrong.
Well, Sissy, if he did it on the knee thing, by the time he got up, he would not have been anywhere in sight.
No. I was just so, you got it. I'm not getting married. I'm like, oh, yeah.
I was having a conversation with Cece on the phone the other day, and I was recalling back in the day when I was even a teenager and dating, and things were different between men and women in those days. Men were more controlling over women back then. And I wouldn't even tolerate it back then. So I never had a boyfriend longer than 3 months when because once they start saying you're my woman and this is what you're going to do, I'm out of here.
You know, I have never said that to somebody in my entire life.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of it going on when I was young.
Don't worry, because my ex has said it for you. Okay.
That sounds so strange.
Mark is being funny. He's going like this. You're still in the friend zone. You know that I mean Kathy. You're not afraid of the darn thing. I know you. Yeah. Kathy's not afraid of Mark. It took me a while to get back up, and you said you would not talk about it.
What?
It took me a while to get back up, and you said you would not talk about it. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Well, I don't know then. I am not privy to the pre-conversation, so I can't comment on that one.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know. That might have been something he was typing for Donnie. Each other. It's funny because our conversations now, they talk to us and they talk to each other, and it's fun.
I see. Okay.
So I love that. Our listeners are being friends with each other, which is what going solo is all about, is making friends.
Well, that is good.
But when I had the ring, he was teasing me. Mark, yeah, if you had the ring, I'd have married you, baby.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But you're in the friend home, sweetheart. You're in the friend zone, sweetheart, because it's girlfriend. We don't do things with girlfriends, but anyhow, the thing is that we just have to be careful not to let our fear stop us from something so absolutely wonderful in our life. I mean, what we're doing tonight. You guys probably wouldn't even have thought about doing this, a year ago or something like that. Or
right.
Maybe we've been doing this for a year. I don't know. It's Derek. We've been on it for a long time, but it's like we just don't want fear to keep us, preventing us from doing something. At least you want to be able to
just go ahead, have new experiences. You live is life. The only time I'm going to stop living is when I die.
That might even be a whole nother thing going on there. Okay, what about dating someone from another state? Ooh, what about it?
Well, I have done that.
How does freedom work with that? It sounds like if you're dating somebody from another state, you got total freedom.
Well, I have total freedom whether or not. I'm not going to let anybody restrict my freedom.
I'm not talking about affairs either. I'm just talking about total freedom.
Yeah, I always have total freedom, and I always give the person that I'm with total freedom. But dating with someone from another state could be difficult. I mean, I had a girlfriend up in Colorado, and that was a difficult relationship to keep because it cost us money to fly up and down, and then it had come to a point. It's either we broke up or one of us moved to either she moved to Florida or I moved to Colorado.
Well, there's the communication time. I guess you'd have to work that out as far as visiting and talking on the phone.
Yeah.
And you're going to do it, And
she visited and I visited, but. That was difficult. Probably if it was just in Georgia where I could have just driven to Georgia, would have been different,
Yeah. Well, here's the thing is, if any relationship, if it's valuable, it's worth doing whatever it takes to make it happen, And if you have met someone in another state and you are trying to work it out, I mean, we have now Zoom, we have different things you can do.
Well, yes.
So there's a lot of ways to be able to communicate, but there has to be a tremendous amount of trust, because if you have a relationship like that, or you're open, one or the other, you got to make a decision. Either you're open in the relationship, or you're going to have a tremendous amount of trust that you're going to be in a committed, exclusive type of relationship. So, but yeah, I mean, I met my ex-husband who was in another country, and it was very expensive. because back in those days, I mean, the phone calls were expensive. We didn't have any kind of.
Yeah.
You didn't have WhatsApp.
We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have. I'm really
Yeah.
The way things are now is like, gosh, you can, go through the whole day with the camera going, and you're practically in the same room almost, have the camera following you and just and chatting away about things, that it doesn't sound so bad, when you can do that. As long as you can turn that camera on whenever you feel like it.
Yeah. I think Mark has said it here. It says there has to be an end game. I love this.
Oh, yes. Mark says he loves the struggle. Oh, my God. Yes.
Definitely has to have that. Because, you need that physical contact, right? You definitely need that. So it's hard. But not to say that when you get together, I mean, lightning bolt, it could be hard. Yeah. So it's funny because, I met my ex-husband when he was in, England, lived in England. Then we finally got together. It was the same thing. Either we're going to break up or get together. So we finally got together, and then he traveled all the time. So, they were doing here. I was home, and he was traveling with his work. So, yeah.
Well, they say that absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I tell you.
That's a saying. I would say sometimes absence makes anticipation, makes desire more intense.
That's true. That's true. I was going to say something like that,
but and there were, like I said, there was some great moments in that marriage. It's just towards the end, it was when he was home all the time is when it works out. But yeah. So I don't know. Let's see what they're saying now. Let me see here. I think Johnny said, how about we think about good things that will come from finding that special someone? I love that. And being with each other and making each other happy than worrying about what can go wrong. Wouldn't that be better? Absolutely.
That's right, Johnny. You just have to find the person that agrees to go along with you with that.
Yeah. Oh, now. And then he goes on and says, now for the third time, how about we think about, great things, and then we find a special. Okay, well, then let's talk about that, Johnny, because now for the third time he's telling us that special person is going to help us with our problems, and we can hold each other while we talk with them, have a cup of coffee. Do not spill the coffee on them. That's better than worrying about things that can happen bad. Yes, absolutely. And Mark goes on to say, Derek, I'm Italian.
Italian. Well, Mark is Italian, and Johnny is a romantic.
We like romantic guys, don't we? Do you like romantic guys, Kathy?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
You don't?
I love that. I love it. Let's talk about what's the most romantic thing, Derek, you've ever done for a woman?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, just my presence.
Okay, so go any further on that one. I'm not getting X-rated. Oh Lord, that's a difficult statement, though, isn't it? What do you think?
What?
My presence, my presence.
Just being there. I guess I'm just. Look, I enjoy the company and being a good company for someone, and romance or doing something romantic. I guess you do things, but you have to be romantic in a continuous kind of way. Mm-hmm. And that's I live romance when I'm with someone. So.
Mm-hmm. What about what's your most romantic thing that ever happened?
I can't think of anything right offhand, but I can tell you a story that made me like, oh, that is the sweetest thing. I'll tell you. Okay. It's actually a friend of mine, and she said the first time that she had sex with her now husband, she said the morning after he sent her flowers. The morning after they had sex, I thought that was the sweetest thing to do. That
is very nice. That is very nice. So let's see what our romantic men here have said on the comments. Let's see. Johnny says romantic Italian.
Romantic Italian.
Sorry. And Mark
Johnny's.
says Boston cat. Oh, and Johnny's has got the best one.
You
Married them.
we married them. Oh my!
I would rather do something for that special person before I would do something for me. Oh, that's sweet. And that's the way it was throughout my whole marriage. I am proud of being married and proud of being the person I am.
That's wonderful.
Johnny, you truly are.
That's wonderful. I told you, Johnny's a romantic. He really is.
Romantic. Whatever lady gets you, she's going to be very happy. She's going to be very happy. And love too. I tell you what, these guys are really very sweet. We cut up and have a good time on the show. And we hope that you guys take something with you when you go from this to realize that it's dating it is a little crazy and it's a little hard and a little fearful at times, but the reward of meeting someone absolutely fantastic, whether it be an end all or just making friends, is a wonderful thing.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So Cecilia, let me ask you this.
Yes.
What's the best thing that happened to you this week?
This week.
Gee, anything. I guess, you know what? I think the best thing, I've got a couple things. One is I talked to Mark. Mark's an old friend of mine. He had married my girlfriend, Tammy, and we're very good friends. And I talked to him on the phone and talking to my friends and my cat, talked to Kathy on the phone. And I think the other thing is I bought patio furniture and it arrived. Am I really an exciting person? No, I'm not.
Oh my gosh, well, that's
I
nice.
don't, romantic. I don't do anything romantic. I mean, it's just me, right?
Yes, you.
Yeah.
What about you, Kathy? What's the best thing that happened to you this week?
Pretty darn boring this week. I've been, working out in my yard and everything, but it was a weird thing that happened to me yesterday. A friend of mine that I know that I was just thinking I hadn't heard from him for a while, and I was just thinking to myself, wonder if I should call him and see, how he's doing. And later on during the day, I opened up my phone and there was a message from him. I thought that was so weird, that
nice.
That we were kind of thinking about each other at the same time. And, wasn't that, it was friendship, kind of, not a romantic thing.
Well, it doesn't have to be romantic, but I just said, I would ask because I started thinking about, and I said I must keep a journal, but I haven't started. What the good things that happened, because, in this COVID season, it's like, I kind of started marking the nice things that happened to me. Mm-hmm. And I start trying to do things to make other people happy as well, on the spur. Because this week I had a nice experience. My brother and his girlfriend and I went to have breakfast at an IHOP here in St. Pete, and we had to wait a long time. We waited and waited. And then when my breakfast came, my omelet, I wasn't totally thrilled with it. Mm-hmm. So I asked to see the manager, and I said, this omelet doesn't look the way it does in the picture. It looks smaller. She said, it's a 3-egg omelet. I said, well, nevertheless, no big thing. She said, you know what? I am going to go into the kitchen and I'm going to make you an omelet myself.
Oh.
And she brought out a really nice omelet for me that morning, and it was free. Then she discounted our breakfast. I thought it was very sweet of her. And I said, she went out of her way to try to make me a satisfied customer and a happier person that morning. Mm-hmm.
And breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Oh yeah, so I just felt, hey, that was something really nice, and I wanted to mention it. And I say every week we should try and mention something good that happens to us during the week. It would probably encourage other people.
That's really good. That's a good thing to pay it forward kind of thing. And I love that thought. Have you ever seen that movie, Pay It Forward?
Mm-hmm.
That's such a sweet movie.
The whole Going Solo network is based on Pay It Forward, and it's based on people helping each other. And so the divorce support group, everyone that in the divorce support group helps everyone else, because when they come into the group, wherever they're at, and they progress, there's always someone coming in that's like wherever they were. So they help each other. So it's based on that friendship and doing that. And the other thing happened to me, I had a lot of stuff going on this week, actually. And the other thing is I saw my son this weekend. Yesterday, I saw him yesterday. And so that was nice. That's always a big thing.
That's good.
Harry came over the weekend. So I had Harry here for the weekend, which I love. And so I've had some good stuff.
Yeah, my grandson called me today just before we got on the show. We were talking for a while. We hadn't talked for probably got a month. We hadn't talked. Yeah, that was nice to hear from him.
That's good.
We have good things happening to us.
We don't have all bad stuff happen to us. Okay, let's go back to some of these comments here. Let's see. I had a dozen long stem roses, but a hot bubble bath with her. Flannel jammies out. I cooked dinner for her. Oh, that's nice.
Oh, no wonder you took a shave, Mark.
Oh, no. What's this? No. No long stem roses, but a hot bubble bath with her. Oh, with her. Not with her, but just with her jammies out. Okay. I thought, okay, I'm getting out of that.
Are you saying, Mark, that's the most romantic thing that you've done? Is that what you said?
For 1 week, Kathy, maybe Faith is telling you something about your phone call. And then it's a sign, Derek, you need to propose.
Propose.
Okay, go over. No.
You mean to the young lady in the
comment on this show, the more I feel confident in the way I've been with love and my special person. I am happy about myself. Absolutely, Johnny, and that's where you need to be, is happy with yourself, and don't look back. You know, they just shit happens. I mean, I'm sorry. Don't go there. You know, don't tread in it. If I was I would back you up myself. There you go.
Nice.
That was 5 years ago. I meant to say placed by the hot bubble bath. Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, it was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was really a sweet thing.
How long has Tammy been gone? She's been gone at least over a year now, I think. So, yeah.
Oh, it's over a year now.
Yeah.
He was a romantic husband then.
Yeah, Mark was a romantic husband, because I used to hear about it all the time. Gary would call me and tell me, guess what he did? Guess what Mark did?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, my. That is nice.
Tammy been gone 4 years? I don't think, has it been 4 years?
Wow.
Has it been 4 years that she's been gone now? I didn't think it's been that long. So I'm sorry, Mark, but
seems like yesterday, huh?
Yeah, it does. It really does. So Tammy and I were very close when she lived here in Florida. So, okay, let's talk a little bit more. We got to close out the show. I hope that everyone knows that you can only lose your freedom if that's what you choose to do, you know? And so if we have our fear of losing our freedom, we can absolutely, we can actually do something about that. So it's when we have fear, it's an internal feeling, and it's something that we can deal with. And so, so we don't want to go through life, like Johnny said, go through life being fear about different things in our lives, because it could be the absolute most wonderful thing that could ever happen to you. So if you date someone out of state, date someone out of state. You know, if you want to date somebody out of the country, date somebody out of the country. You know, do what you want to do that's going to make you happy. Just be smart about it, safe about it, you know, and just love life, right?
So, yeah, it may not be fear that freedom that you're actually losing. Just, you know, open yourself up to the new world that, you know, is ahead of you without fear, as long as you're comfortable with it. And, you know, there's so many more things that you can learn about each other, and you want to be happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, we'll just end these, do these certain things. Mark said he sets his bar high because Tammy was a wonderful human being. She died July 5th,
Yeah,
2016.
when you a wonderful marriage, that's really, really hard. You know, and it's really, really hard to move forward like that.
Why don't they say bye to Derek? You too, Derek. Bye.
Bye, Sonny. It's nice having you here. Well, the only thing I would say is that
I love you. Well, he did say I love you all.
I love you all, yes. But what I would say, the only thing that you have to...
In the body. I love you three. We love you too.
Love you too, Mac. And in closing, I would say that, the thing is that in a relationship, you're not supposed to lose anything. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to gain a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to lose.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I've heard stories about people losing their stereo system and their bank account.
Well, I don't know what type of relationship that is, but choose wisely. Choose wisely.
There you go. That's you choose wisely.
That's right. Absolutely. All right. Well, good night, everyone. So
okay, I'll see you guys.
Yeah, you guys are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, and this is the Boy and Girl Show. I am CC Chess. I have my good friends with me,
Kathy Lamb.
And I'm Derek Bernard, and I hope you all enjoy the show and have a great evening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.